Hey everyone, so I am here today to show you how I made another one of my projects using the contractor shims, and I decided to do a voiceover for this one just so I could explain some of the things that I do. If you read my blog, I gave more details on the blog for the first one, the Valentine's Day one, but if you don't read the blog, then I thought I would just share it with you guys over here. So I just used 3 different colors of paint, white and a bright yellow and like a bright green for St. Patrick's Day. And I'm making this for my grandma's door at the nursing home. I just like to do cute little things for her door to keep up with the holidays or the seasons. And I am actually making this kind of late. I actually didn't get this up until after the first week of March. So, bad granddaughter, but I'm doing the best that I can because I've been kind of sick and out of it. So, the way I do it is whenever I open up an embellishment kit, I save those little plastic things. You guys know that if you've watched some of my videos because they are the perfect paint palettes. And I just use a foam brush and I go from lightest to darkest. I just make sure that I cover the shims really well, and I haven't had a problem with it. I like having a little bit of the wood come through, so I only do 1 coat of paint, and I just go from lightest to darkest. That way there's no bleed through or no problems with that, and I haven't really had any problems. And I got these contractor shims at my local hardware store. I think it was like $7. And I got a huge box of them, so that's partly the reason why I did this for my grandma's door, because I just had so many that I felt like they needed to be used up. And so I'm hoping to come up with some different projects for the future. I don't want to do one of these every season or every month. And I also ran into some problems with this one because I was kind of in a hurry. So as you can see, I kind of had some yellow paint on the brush, but I just kind of squished it out to the side, and it wasn't really a big deal. I just covered it up. It's acrylic paint. It's really easy to work with. The foam brush. Of course, you could use 3 foam brushes if you wanted. I'm just really cheap, and I just want to use one. So as you can see, I'm just painting, and I did use my heat gun a little bit to dry them, but for the most part, acrylic paints dry really quick. So if I would have left them for like 10 or 15 minutes, it probably would have dried quick enough on its own. And so I just lay them out. If you can't really tell in the video, the shims are laid out so it's like thick on one end and it gets thinner towards the other end. So it's kind of like wedge shaped. So I just alternate which side the thicker part of the wedge is on. And I just use the baby wipe to clean my fingers because I didn't want any paint transferring from my fingers to a lighter color. And as you guys can tell, I'm still a little sick when I'm recording this voiceover. I've just been not feeling that great, but I've got stuff and I have to get it done. So those are the October afternoon alphabet stickers, which I really, really like. I found them to be the perfect size for a lot of projects, and this was one of them. And I wish I had a die cut machine and I would have just cut out the word lucky like I did with the word love for the Valentine's Day version, but I didn't. So these stickers were pretty good, and I wish I would have spaced them a little bit better. They aren't going in the straightest of lines, but it's okay, so I just made it work. And just be careful if you do decide to make this, because the Y is going to be lower than all of your other letters. I just let the bottom of the Y hang off the edge. If you don't want to do that, then you need to put all the letters up a little bit higher and possibly even use a smaller letter set. So there you can see they're all painted, they're in order, and I've got the letter stickers on there. And I've just got some yellow twine that I have from my stash, and I'm going to use that to glue it onto the back because I want to be able to hang this on my grandma's door. So I'm flipping all of these over, and I've plugged in my hot glue gun. It's getting hot, And I just use hot glue because I found it works the best with this project with the glue and the twine. So I just put a little dot, and I just kind of approximated. I got a little too much twine for the door, but I didn't measure it out in person. And then I just put a little dot of hot glue on top just to kind of seal it in there. And this is where I got into a hurry and I didn't think about it. And you'll see me discover my mistake here in just a couple minutes. But what you want to do before you put the glue on there is cut down your shims. That's my mistake number one. As you can see, the shims are a little bit too long for my project. So when you flip it over, you can see the end of the shim poking out the top, which was fine for one of them because it was a thinner end and it was really easy to cut off. But unfortunately, the other end, it was the thick end, and I had the worst time ever trying to cut this down. In fact, I stopped the video and I sawed at it with an X-Acto knife for quite a few minutes, and my husband helped me. I passed him the third shim, and he was cutting off the end for me. I guess he doesn't use an X-Acto knife. I'm not sure what he uses. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like an X-Acto knife. Anyway, if you just have some sort of blade, cut off the thin end because that's the easier end to work with, and make it fit for the back. So, that's my mistake number one. Cut down two of your shims, or no, cut down all three of your shims so that they fit onto the back of that without seeing them from the front. And then I just use a lot of hot glue. Of course, I want it to stick down really, really well, and glue it on there. My second problem, which I don't know how to correct it. I liked it better on the Love Valentine's Day version, is I didn't get as much depth with the shims. So what you really want to do is make sure that you get the narrow ends glued down really tight, because that's what gives it that shadow, that texture. You want, or at least I want, in my version, I want you to be able to see the wedge shape and the texture shape. I feel like if not, it just looks like you painted some, little trim boards and, just went from there. But I really like that wedge shape of the shims. So make sure that you glue those down. I would recommend gluing down both of the sides. And like I said, glue the narrow side down first and make sure that's touching the back panel piece.